Yo, what's up, guys? It's Damnation-n-Hellfire here again with another episode of Battle Fire's Crow's Nest. Of course, we got good old reliable Ross Crow with us.
Good evening.
And we got my brother from down under, Toxic, had the day off today, so he was able to jump on here with us.
G'day, everyone. How are we doing?
We're doing fine. How are you enjoying that Australia day, buddy?
Just dandy. And that means it's great.
So you were telling me earlier you got a new little addition to your household there. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, we've got young Frank, who's a 9-week-old or 10-week-old pup who keeps us all on our toes. He likes to chew power cords and do his business in unbelievable tight places.
9 weeks.
Yeah, 9 weeks.
So you're thoroughly armed with a pooper scooper and disinfectant bottle and doing battle this weekend, huh?
That's it. We've got one of the boys got the spray bottle, the disinfectant. The other one's got a mop. So yeah, they're all armored. They're armored to the brim.
Oh, there you go. There you go. All right. Well, I guess we want to talk about some battle fires here today. Got a little bit of stuff to cover, so we'll jump into that. I guess we'll start with we're at episode 25, guys. How about that? Episode 25 on January 25th. That's kind of creepy. So they had some bug fixes and improvements this week. They fixed an issue where combats were crashing on users. They fixed an issue where the adder turret was not being displayed in the base planner. Apparently, it would just show you a blank little square where your adder turret actually was in the base planner. So that's a good thing to have fixed. Made changes to how auras were calculated within the stat block of affected structures. I think, Ross, this is something you had been having a problem with. It like showed that you were getting certain percentages, and then you woke up the next day and you were getting all different percentages.
You're right.
I guess that came into effect on that. They fixed an issue where Disciples of Skullduggery were preventing certain weapons from firing from doing damage. So yeah, that's interesting. Instead of making all your misses crit, they'll just say, "Oh yeah, well your weapons can't do anything." How about that? So yeah, that's definitely a good one to have fixed. They fixed an issue where users were having trouble loading into the game. Well, that's always a good issue to fix. They fixed an issue where the FM What's New would redirect to a placeholder model. Not sure exactly what that's all about, but whatever. They did some a little bit of the instant upgrade. Yeah, hang on. You're getting a discount on instant upgraded defense platforms currently. So if you want to coin a defense platform, you can get it done instantly. From the 24th to the 30th, you can do it for about 64% cheaper. I don't imagine I know a whole lot of mega whales that'll take advantage of this. Because most of the mega whales have already probably got all their turrets up to full max level. And I think most of the rest of us aren't going to coin turrets. But, if you want that option, it's available to you. And the continued reduction of tag mods that they had that they were going to run for 2 weeks, they've actually now extended it a week. And it now will last until February 6th. So that's definitely a good thing. I know there was a lot of people who were having issues that they had started like an 18-day turret build or whatever, so they weren't going to be able to take advantage of the free stuff, and now with this extended time, they'll be able to. So I think that's most of that. They did some reduced build times on some components. Siege Targeting 3 went from 18 hours to 12 hours. Shield Attack System went from 16.37 hours to 8 hours for the first one. The second one went from 32.74 to 16 hours. And the last one went from 54 hours and change to 24 hours. So those are some good reductions there.
Yeah, those are huge. I mean, those are well needed, and they're huge. So that's good.
Yeah, I hope they don't stop there. I hope they keep going.
We also had the Defensive Mastery campaign this week. Chance to get caught up on some charged armors. Toxic, why don't you go?
Yeah, I've just finished my my prize pack 2 with 4 Buccaneers. I've done prize pack 1 last night, and I had 3 bucks that were fully equipped, with 1 charged and radioactive. Except for 1, and that one almost died in doing pack 1. I've used the token from the FM to refit the charged armor onto it, and I've basically gotten price pack 2 for 5-minute repair. So it definitely, the armors definitely help. Can't really say much about price pack 3 and 4 because I haven't done that yet, but I can't wait to get some more ballistic and radioactive charged armors, which are going to go on my Hydra fleet. So yeah, it doesn't seem too bad. I reckon even 2 Buccaneers could do it. The first 2 packs at least that are properly outfitted. So it's not too hard. It should be able. Most people should be able to do that have got a half decent fleet. What do you guys think?
I think this was the best TLC in ages. Like, I had $4. I autoed the whole damn thing. So, I think by the time I was done, I took maybe 2.5 hours repair. My favorite TLC in a long time. I will say this, though. You can auto it, but you might want to actually be in the target, keep an eye on it while it's autoing, because it might get stuck now and then. So, Ross, what do you think?
Oh, I would agree. It's a gimme. I thank you, Kickstarter, for this one here, because it's a harmless thing. It's a good looking target. They're not too big. It doesn't take all your evening out trying to do these. So that makes it fun for me also. And then, but I don't know I think I used the 3 Buccaneers, and I did it really, really, it went well for me. I'm wondering, I don't know how far, say, Ironclads could do. I would think they probably could do prize pack 1 and 2, maybe even. I'm not sure.
Yeah, prize pack in the 5th run through in prize pack 2. You've got those little drones that drop those mines, so I'm not sure if I guess Ironclads could get through that if if they're built right. But yeah, definitely, I have to agree with you there, Ross. It's not a crazy hard campaign where you need both fleets like the Hydra and the Buccaneer fleets to even have a glimmer of a hope to get through. You can. It's well designed. I really like those targets. I like them in the raid. I like the graphics in them, and yeah, it's really well done, Kickstarter. So you gotta give dues where dues are due, I guess. Say that quick 5 times in a row.
Right. Well, yeah, and I don't want to be like the downer all the time where everything's bad. So this one here, I'm thankful for myself. So it was a way of and it was a good amount of armors. In all honesty, look at that. 4 for prize pack 3 and 5 for prize pack 4. That's a good chunk of armor, right? So
yeah,
I was happy. I'm happy on that one.
Yeah, same here.
Real quick, there's something that just got posted on the forums, and Rue just brought it to my attention. I want to mention it now before I forget, because it's not part of the slides, and if I don't talk about it now, I know I'll forget. They posted something about the January and the upcoming February raid. They said that the Battle Pirates team wants to thank you for your patience over the last few weeks. We had a number of things that did not work as expected on live in the January event. The team is hard at work and will make sure to correct them before the February event. Things that will be corrected for the February event. Issues with Sealed Tax System 3 and the Buccaneer bounty caused players to take additional damage in the Tier 7 target. No, tactical field resistance will not reduce damage from fields. So, siege battery not being as effective as expected. So they finally said, yes, siege batteries fracked up, and we will have it fixed by the February event. Apparently, the weapons jam is being removed from all the targets. Instead, ships will be restricted from targets they are not intended to be in. And confusion of what items are subject to countermeasures. A list of turrets and their countermeasures will be provided for the February event. So, breaking news, they're saying, yes, we screwed up in the January event pretty bad, and here are the things that we plan on fixing by the February event. And the February event is starting on the 15th, so hopefully they will have all this stuff up and ready to run by the February raid. It's just a shame it took them this long to come out and make a public announcement of, yes, we dropped the ball, but we're working hard to fix it, you know. But anyway, there's an update on that. So I want to make sure I covered it before I totally forgot about it.
Well, and props to the update, because it gives you time to, you know, to actually know what builds you're going to go with for the raid. So
yeah, at least it's really nice. They're going to have a list of the turrets and what countermeasures work on the turrets. That's a big thing.
Yeah, that it really is. You know, that's actually saying what we're up against. So that's great. So,
yeah, that's what we've been wanting from Kickstarter, you know, information, you know, whether it's good or bad, let us know, so we know, and we got enough time to get things, you know, changed or retrofitted or refitted or what, you know, needs to be done. So at least we've got some time, and that's what we want. So again,
yeah,
kudos to Kicks, you know, that's, you know, well done.
Yeah.
All right, so back to our regularly scheduled program. So there's this thing called bounty going on right now. Ross, you want to talk about the beginnings of it here?
Yeah, the season, it started, the bounty season 6. It started today, and that was 10 a.m. at PST, and then that's going to run till the 29th at 10 a.m. Now you're going to get the bounty sources. You get 800 bounty at the start of the bounty, and then every 6 hours from there on out. So, and then you'll get the percentage for now has been increased from from base attacks. So a player can now attack you and take 50% of your unsecured bounty. Now, last time it was 40%, and the time before that was 20 or 30. So it's gone up each time. And so, you know, some that's a deterrent, some like that. That's just as long as everyone knows it's quite a bit of your bounty can be stolen now. That's changed.
Do you think that's a coincidence that this happened after the quote-unquote PvP nerf with the tac mods? Do you think it's a coincidence that the amount of bounty that can be stolen went up?
Well, I don't think anything. No, it's not a coincidence. I mean, this is a planned event. This event was planned, so it's part of it.
Yeah, I mean, quite honestly, like last bounty, I know there was hardly any base hitting going on last bounty. So hopefully with those changes that they did to base defense and having a higher payout at this point, will encourage a little bit more base hitting. I don't know that I personally think 50% might be a little bit much, but that's just my personal opinion.
I agree. 50% is pretty high. In all honesty, it's not so, I mean, drastic those first couple of days, but at the end of the bounty period, where I think it, you know, when that's a stretched out unsecure, the unsecure amounts get large, even on you know, it doesn't have to be a top 100 base to be quite a bit of bounty built up on that last day.
Yeah. I mean, it's really it's kind of crazy actually, because you can go from, oh, I'm comfortably going to be getting all the prizes and even have bounty left over, to, oh, I'm hardly getting any prizes now because all this bounty got stolen. You know.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not in it yet, I have to say. I've just as you know, I've just gotten my my hope fixed. There's still a couple of weapons that need to go on. And I haven't got anything. That's Inquisitor that we built for last map targets doesn't really work in this time, so I haven't got much of a chance to get anything done, to get any points from anyway. So I'm a bit of humming and hawing at the minute whether I will or will not join the bounty. But at the moment, I'm not in it. See how it goes.
But when Toxic does decide to join the bounty for a small amount of gold, I can be convinced to give up his coordinates. Just saying.
Oh yeah, it's a real challenge, my base.
Well, that's why they want your coordinates, because when you get a little bit of bounty, they'll be able to take it real quick.
Yeah. It's like a vortex. It sucks all the ships in. Yeah.
You want to tell us a little bit about the whole Nexus thing too, Ross?
Yeah. There's going to be 5 Nexuses, the golden Nexuses in each world. And they're going to drip to 25% bounty every 60 minutes, every hour. There's going to be 2 rounds of the Nexus spawns. The first set will be Thursday, the 25th from 10 a.m. And then the last is the Friday, the 26th at 3 p.m. The Nexus expiration bonus will be 2,000 bounty credit. So you must log in at the end to claim the bonus on Friday, the 26th from 3 p.m. to 4:55 PST. Now, I believe it's been the same as the past, as far as I know on there. Another round of Nexuses will spawn on the Friday, the 26th at 5 p.m. and will expire as the season ends. You will have until the end of the store to log in and claim the expiration bonus, which will be 4,400 bounty for the second set of Nexuses. Now, I think that's up maybe, 400, or it's similar to the last. So
I think it's the exact same as the last time. And I'm assuming the payouts are the same, that if your alliance controls like 2 Nexuses, you get twice as much. And if you 3, you get 3 times as much.
Yeah, I guess that's how it is. I mean, no, I know how that is. How it is. I don't know if that was intended that way or.
Yeah, I didn't think it was supposed to be that way. Like, I thought you were only ever supposed to get bounty for the one that you yourself were actually attached to. But I don't know. It's been this way since the first one. So either it was intended to be that way from the beginning, or they're just too lazy to fix it. I'm not sure which camp I fall in on that. But yeah, so that's pretty much the Golden Nexus thing. There are map targets this time. There's 87s and 87s and 899s, I believe, are the 2 main ones that you see out all the time. What I have here on the screen at the moment is my build that I'm using to auto the 99s, and I'm doing them for instant map repair. You load down 9 of the Excalibur Gatling guns on them. You have the vulcanized barrels, your strike warheads. I put Shield Tac 3 because in the 99s they do have the Scourge undersea webs there, which can slow your fleet down a whole lot. So I use the TAC system to get through that faster, so I'm not wasting more time. Speed System 6, Siege Battery, and Siege Targeting, and that's level 4 on both of those. So I can go through and auto the 99s with this fleet, and it takes like anywhere from 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes of repair on the map. So if you have a King's Writ that's already similar to this, or maybe one exactly like this, or we just got done doing the TLC where you got conquest build tokens, so you can easily, if you choose to build one to do the bounty targets with. But yeah, this is a great build. Several people that I talk to on a regular basis, like Mike and Rue and RB, they've all switched over and they're using this and going out just autoing targets left and right. I will say this: do not go into the 87 with this hull, because it will not be pretty, and it will not be pretty against you, not for you. I think it's the 87 does a whole lot more concussive damage, I think, is what the problem is. But yeah, so yeah, like I said, though, this can auto the 99s for under 2 minutes map repair, right around 2 minutes map repair. So
but if you have armor, it will increase your damage.
Yes. Yeah, armor will always increase repair time. So yeah, don't put any armor on it. Don't put any armor on it. You know, just go in like this and you'll be golden. Seriously, I do recommend letting it auto too. Poor RB, I believe it was, who tried to drive through the target, got a little too close to the Tide Seeker that was in there. His whole King's Writ went boom. So yeah, just let it auto. You'll be good. And also, in addition to the 2 map targets, they are having today's bonus spawn is already paid out. There was 89s and 100s, and I think the bonus targets were the exact same as they were last bounty. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I do believe. So we got all our checkpoints. Yeah, RB's in chat saying, yeah, sure, out me. And oh yeah, that's one of my favorite pastimes, is throwing people under the bus live on the air. So we got our checkpoints. You know, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday are all the same. You know, you're hit every 2,000 points, you'll hit a check mark until you go to 5, and then you got to get to 10,000. And the stretch from 4 to 5, you'll get a chest at 2,000, 5,000, and 9,000. They usually contain either uranium or conquest build tokens or conquest VXP tokens, or, you know, what have you. Sunday's the big one. You know, you got your 2,000, 2,000, 2,000, 2,000, and then you got that last stretch, checkpoint 5, that will be from that goes the whole way up to 57,120, receiving chests at 8,000, 16,000, and 32,000. And then I guess we'll start talking about prizes. Toxic, you want to go with the first list?
All right. At 1,700 points, you will get the 12-hour ship build tokens. You will get the Pride blueprint, the Ruined Scattergun, the Narrowed Firing Aperture, and a 24-hour structure build token.
Did you say 17? Did you say 17,000 or 1,700?
1,700, 1,700.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. And there's a limit of 1 for the 12-hour ship build token and the 24-hour structure build token. For the 2,400, you will get the Radon Slinger, the Radon Breeder, the Rage, the Polonium Accelerator, and the Hydrodynamic Shells 3. And the Rage weapon, and the Rage is a special, so everything else is just a blueprint.
Ross, you want to do this one?
Sure. For 5,000 points, you get the Augmented Ballistic Armament. You can get the Crusher Cannon, the Punch Drive System, or the Elite Countermeasure Turret itself. Now, the turret is limited. There it says there's no cap increase to that, so I'm not sure. Was that 5 originally?
Yeah, I believe it's 5.
Okay, so I think that's speaks for itself. The Crusher Cannon, it goes to the Boulder Fest. The Punch Drive System is a really great special, so I really like that one myself. So out of all these, I really like that Punch Drive System.
Hey, I have a question. What's the Augmented Ballistic Armament? I don't remember. Do you remember?
Special? No. I can look it up here.
Yeah, you go check that, and we'll have talk.
Okay.
Prize list while you go check that.
Okay, for 10,000 points, that you've got 3 new prizes in there that we haven't had yet, and it's 2 times the Q mortar, the High Explosive Shells 4, and Tactical Focus. And the Tactical Focus is limited, and you can redeem 3, and it's capped at 3. The Rainus Rage is limited. The Cannibal Wendigo and the Boulder Fist are also limited. They both have a cap. No, sorry, they both have no caps. The Boulder Fist has. And right at the bottom, you've got the King's Writ skin. And again, it's only the skin. It's not the King's Writ with it.
I think on this particular list, is to me the must get out of this entire bounty. The only prize that I personally think, if you don't enter bounty for any other reason, you're going to want to get the 2XQ mortar, and we'll talk about why here very shortly.
Okay, and I can go back into the augmented ballistic armament, and I don't know why it's just drew blank on it. That's a really it's a must-have. It's ballistic accuracy plus 60%, ballistic range plus 50%, and a splash bonus of 45% all in one. It is a tier 6 Conqueror and Defender only, however.
Well, that's funny because right as the time you started saying that, Frederick Berger over in chat typed it into the YouTube channel. So that was like we were getting it in stereo from you on here and from him in the chat.
Okay,
so, good stuff.
Yeah, it's really a good one. I mean, it is.
Yeah, like I don't know why I couldn't remember what it is either. I got too many Battle Pirates components running around in my head, and I can't keep them all straight all the time. Last we got Onslaught is, of course, the big hull. It's at 45,000. Yeah, I don't know why I did a typo there. It says 4,500, but it's actually 45,000. And you get 3 of them for that 45,000. You have a cap of 3, so you can only redeem it once. Ross, you want to go into the stats on the hull a little bit?
Sure. It's a Conqueror tier 7, so this is your first tier 7. It has a 2,327,500 armor points. So that's a doozy. It's got
that is like the biggest amount of health that we've ever had on a hull, correct?
That is correct. I mean, that's just flat on the hull. That's huge amount of armor, and so it's big. That's first. Now, explosive range on this, now this is also interesting. It's an explosive range. It doesn't say mortar. It doesn't say rocket. It says explosive, plus 22%. Mortar reload plus 50%. Rocket reload also 50%. Now it has an explosive damage of plus 85%, which is pretty large itself also. Explosive deflection is what is massive on this hull, and it's well, it's 1,686,450, which is
yeah. I know. When I first saw this deflection number, I said, "Am I reading this right? Is this 1.6 million?"
I mean, really? I mean, that just says I don't. That just says, "Excuse me." I mean, what's wrong here? When the number has to be like that, we really went to why?
But yeah, no, we're definitely trying to stay away from power creep. Yeah.
Just after the base turrets got nerfed, so I wonder how you kill it. Not with explosives, that's for sure.
Well, yeah, right.
I mean, the interesting thing though is like, while that deflection number is huge, that is the only deflection number.
Only deflection it has, right? So, it has a tactical field resistance though of 50, and so regular defense handicap for sure, and the combat speed's 25, turn speed's 30. It does have thermal imaging range of 78, so it's not far, but it does have it. So that's
a weird number, isn't it? Like 78. It's not like 80 or 75. It's like, oh, we're just gonna say 78. That seems like a nice in the middle between the two.
It is a strange, but I don't know. So you won't be able to go buy it totally without it seeing you, or I guess you'll be able to get in range, but it does have thermal imaging. Now it also has what it has on this one here is weapon slots of 8, armor slots 5, special slots 6. Now, on this next one here, it has a tactical module slot. So this is going to be the first of the tier 7 Conqueror hulls that we have released that it's going to take a tactical module. And that's right. Your old tactical modules you can use on this hull.
Yeah, I've already been hearing people talking about the revival of the Wake tactical module. The one that would make all the ships go behind it go like super freaking fast.
Yeah, Right. I mean, but there's some decent ones out there. No, there was some siege.
Yeah, my understanding too is that like for all the tier 7 Conqueror hulls are going to have tactical slots. Is my understanding. So it will allow you to mix and match and tailor make your fleet even more to your own specifications and what you want. They're trying to get back to that non-cookie cutter type of mentality and back to some us customizing it based on the way we want to use it in our play style.
Right. And you know, for those that, you know, it's been a long time since we've even used the tactical lab in all honesty. So people want to just take a look at some of the, you know, go back into their tactical lab and check out some of those actually the different options, because there's already, we've had quite a few old ones, and then we're getting new ones to come.
So what you're saying, the old tactical modules like the engine disruptor and the armor bypass and all that will work on that? You can put that on?
Yes, sir.
That is my
cool.
understanding, correct.
That'd be cool. That'd be really cool.
My favorite prize out of this entire bounty, the only reason to me that's worth doing this bounty, is the 2XQ mortar. Forget about the fact it's a mortar. Forget about the fact that it does damage of any type. Forget about all of that. Just look at this last line on defense where it says concussive deflection. 105,404. For each one of these mortars that you put on your hull, you will get that much deflection against concussive. Basically, this mortar counts as an extra armor slot, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So
it stacks.
Yeah. So you can put like 10 mortars on, and you'll have like 1,054,040 deflection against concussive. It's crazy. Literally the best, hands down, the best prize in this entire bounty.
The best armor for your buck.
So don't be discouraged. Like, oh, I can't get 45,000 points to get the, you know, the triple hulls or whatever. Just if you can log on every day and not get hit and get your bonuses, you'll be able to get this, and it will be gold. And Chester's saying that they're going to nerf it. I really don't think so. I don't think so. The way they seem to be going with the numbers, I don't think it's going to get nerfed. I really don't. But as far as its other numbers, projectile speed of 93, splash of 8, spread of 100, anti-mortar evasion 60%. That's pretty good. Range of 90. Regular damage, it does 13,996. Why we can't just make it 14,000, I'm not sure, but I'm sure there's probably some reason. The Salvo of 2, reload time is 6.5. Wall and building damage is a little bit more than the normal damage, is 17,495. It does MIRV, so when it gets shot down, it gets split into littler projectiles. And the littler projectiles do the same amount of damage as far as regular damage and building damage. With a splash of 8 for the MIRVs, each projectile will turn into 2 MIRVs, and the spread, it looks like, is 0. So yeah, that's this mortar in a nutshell. But yeah, like I said, the damage stats, sure, they're there and they're cool and all, but to me, it's that deflection number is the big thing. The big thing. And yes, the MIRV is nice as well, but to me, it's all about the deflection.
I mean, if you look at the how do you call it, Ross? Elvis impersonator.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah.
If you put that on it, you know, you can get some crazy numbers.
Yeah, you could put this actually on several. You know, it just has to be Conqueror Defender. You can get crazy numbers out of anything that's Conqueror Defender. Now there's a couple hulls out there that are only lacking in well, not only, but are low on the concussive deflection, and this was really going to be a big boost.
One of the first ones that jumped into my mind was King's Ray. because I know before it used to always be, you know, back when people were using the big Omega cannon that did all that concussive damage on top of their OP, and if you didn't have Sloss, the King's Writ would die fairly quickly with that cannon. I'm like, oh well, so I can just put one of these mortars on my King's Writ, and suddenly it's golden against all that corrosive concussive damage that was giving it problems before.
Now the only well, not problem, but the only downside that I can see is that it's very, very heavy, 750 ton.
Well, I mean, you say that, but then when we'll take a look here in a little while at the new armors that are going to be coming out in the FM next week, and this is actually lighter than what the new armors are.
Oh, nice.
So, you know, I mean
so we've got,
seems like a lot, but you know, it's when you compare it to the actual armor cost, it's probably not as bad as what you think.
yeah. Well, at the moment we've only got what 20,000 to play with.
Yes.
I don't know whether the new the tier 7 Conquerors will have a bigger number there, so that you can maybe run only 2 or 3 of hulls in the 100,000 that we've got available in the dock. So I don't know. We don't know what they're gonna do, but yeah, it looks very good. I really like it.
Yeah, so I don't know. Like I said, this to me, if do bounty just to get this because of that deflection buff. You know, if you don't get anything else, I think this is worth it by itself. Oh, yeah, I forgot I put that note down at the bottom of this. It's Toxic. Go ahead and you want to talk about the high explosive shell store?
Oh, I just saw that now. My eyes are burning now. Hang on. That's the high explosive shells 4. You can only fit it to a Conqueror or Defender. It's a tier 7 weapon, and it's got some really cool statistics. It's got 75% explosive damage. It's got a huge amount of splash, 163%, and it's got 100% projectile speed. So I can see myself taking a couple of specials off certain hulls and use this instead of, thereby having a spare slot where I can fit something else on. So it looks really good. I hope it stacks with quite a few things, I hope.
No, as a matter of fact, it does not stack with jack shit.
Oh, now my ears are burning
Ross
too.
and I were playing with it in the shipbuilder the other day, and I put it on there, and I'm like, okay, well, what other splash thing can I put on it? And I'm like, oh, it doesn't stack with any other splash things on it. And I'm like, how about projectile speed? Oh, it doesn't stack with any of the other projectile speed stuff. What about explosive damage? Oh, look, I don't think it stacks with any of that either. So yeah, if you put this on your hull, you're pretty much not going to be able to put any of that other stuff on.
You know,
They can't make it too easy. Oh, sorry, Ross, you go.
Well, there might be, you know, instances, however, though, where that's 163 is enough total splash for you, you know, for certain targets or for certain situations, I guess. And so, you know, I could see this might have a room for, it will free up special slots in certain instances, but it is very non-stackable, correct?
I mean, in a way, though, that's almost good, because if you're not going to allow splash to stack like you did it before, that means hopefully in the future we're not going to have to worry about, oh, look, my outpost is getting splashed out from 6 land tiles away.
No, exactly, right.
Because you're not going to be able to get those crazy 400% numbers anymore. They're going to continue to allow this non-stacking, which in my opinion is actually a good thing.
Yeah, and you can stack things like maybe an extra speed upgrade or something like that on it, or 2 speed upgrades, or you know whatnot. So a bit of speed might help you more than what extra splash would. You know, you don't know. It's that there is. I'm sure there is plenty of hulls where you could fit this on, which would make a great addition. So,
yeah, it's a good all-in-one special, you know, to where if you're, you know, having a hull where you're limited on your special choices, you're like, oh man, I want to get this much out of this, and I want to get this much, and I want to get the projectile speed, but I only have, like, after I put my engine and siege battery on, I only got like 2 special slots left or whatever. This will come in great in a scenario like that.
Yep, exactly.
Tactical focus.
The tactical focus. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
Okay, that was it's the conquer. It's what we were talking about on the special abilities before, and so it's going to go on the new hall. This is the new one, and it is a Legion tech, and it is actually 500 tons. So it's haven't checked the weight of the old ones, but I imagine they're similar.
Well, I know when you compare them to the current CICs we're getting on the PvE side of stuff, it's way lighter because those things are like 3,000 tons or whatever.
Oh, that really good deal. Okay, so the ballistic, this one here.
Sorry, I was just looking at the old. They're going up to 8,500, 7,500.
Oh my, so great.
So yeah, so it's way lighter than that.
Okay.
Oh, so yeah, apparently you can use those old tactical mods if you want to, but weight might become quickly an issue if you try to.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so this one here offers straight across the board, pretty much ballistic, concussive, corrosive, explosive, penetrative, radioactive at a 14.25%. The range on it is 60. So it affects all of your all ships in the range of 60 that are Conqueror or Defender. So you could use this in your guard. You know, it's a possibility.
Yeah, you can use it to like buff up your justice or whatever to have it dealing out an extra 14 and 14.25% damage or whatever, you know. So yeah, it has potentials.
Yes. And this is just one. I mean, they're going to go. This is just the first of many, I think. So
yeah, it'll be interesting to see in the future if we end up with our defenders are also going to have tactical installations on them.
Right, and it'd make it a lot easier to flip and to change hulls, and just it's a.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's kind of nice to bring back the tac mods because it allows you to custom-made your own shit more towards you and what you want to do and, the role you want it to play, as opposed to here is your ship, here is your weapon, here is your special. You will put these on them, and then everybody will know how to kill them. I'm glad to see we're getting away from that mentality.
Now, do we know if they stack with the old tactical?
I would assume so. I mean, I wouldn't see why, but I guess I can say we don't know that 100% for sure. But I don't see why they wouldn't.
Of course, there's going to be some awesome combinations that you can come, or that I can come up with, and I'm not really a shipbuilder extraordinaire. So yeah, that looks really good. It's going to make playing or playing the PvP game a lot more fun, a lot more user friendly, and a lot easier to get into, and a lot easier to understand. So yeah, hopefully that'll get me back into PvP, because I've been really hanging for that.
Well, the first step of getting you back into PvP is you got to build some PvP boats. Just saying.
Yeah, I've got a couple. I've got a few, just not fully built.
So here's our sneak peek at the armors that are coming out in the FM next week. We're getting 2 brand new Tier 7 armors, and these are PvP items. I myself am not entirely happy that they're putting PvP items in the FM, but it is what it is. So first, we're looking at the Zithanite armor D6U. It's Draconian. It can only go on your Conquerors and Defenders. It is a Tier 7 armor. It will only offer you 1,000 armor points at the cost of 900 tons. However, you will get 64,254 deflection against radioactive, concussive, and corrosive. And this has a new thing that they're doing called equipment cap, which means this is a regular blueprint, and you get it, and it's not a limited blueprint. You get one, and you can build as many as you want. But you can only ever put 3 of them on one hull. That's what the equip cap means. The blueprint itself is not limited. It's just limited to the number that you can put on a boat. So it's not like you have to win this, 5, 6, 7, 10 times. You win it once, then you can only put so many on each individual hole. So, and this is a night one. That's the one that I have come to call for the secondary damages. I call the compound plate the primary damages because those ones that are the ones that the game started with. So that's how I define them anyway. But you're looking at compound plate 5. It is Forsaken Tech. It goes on Conquer Defenders only, tier 7. Again, 1,000 armor points at the cost of 900 tons, but you will get 64,254 deflections against all of penetrative, ballistic, and explosive. And again, you have the equip cap of 3. And the cool thing about both of these armors is the repair duration is only 15 minutes as opposed to some of the quite longer armor repair times that we've seen. Now, granted, you don't get actual armor out of these, but you do get a massive amounts of deflection. So, I don't know. What do you guys think about these?
Crazy amazing. To me, it's these are going to be, this is the best item out lately that I know. I mean, it's better than any bounty prize to me. This means that old halls become relevant. Mini halls. It just says Conquer Defender. I can put these on hall class. So that's going to bring back quite a few halls that are lacking in only a few deflection areas. So this is really it'll be interesting to see what people come up with, and you'll be able to rethink some before you bring back some of those old halls that you have actually. I think these stats, I'm just looking at it, and these numbers look good. They're going to be pretty good.
I will say this: these armor plates on gluttonies will be retarded.
There's going to be several halls.
Because how many armor slots does the gluttony have? Because that'll be a problem with a lot of the conquerors that they only have 3 armor slots or whatever. But the gluttony has like 7 or 6 or something crazy. So you can actually hit the limit cap on each one of these. So just by the armors themselves, you're adding roughly 192,000 deflection for each damage type by putting these 3 of each of these armors on. Yeah, I see gluttonies being a thing again.
Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, you're going to have to rethink those old the portals, the sub portals that you have. You're going to have a little bit more killing power. In all honesty, a lot more killing power in those. So.
And it's 10 armor plates for the gluttonies.
Okay, well, still,
it caps it.
Yeah, beyond 6, it doesn't matter because you can only put 3 of each on. But yeah, it'll be ridiculous. So I mean, I guess to counterbalance that though, you can also put these on your defender hulls. So it's not like totally one-sided at least.
Yeah, this is going to make me put $10 on so I can coin my way through the what's that campaign where you get the Elvis impersonator?
Oh, the one that's going on right now.
Yeah, that's it. I'm going to have to get that now. Because with these armors and that mortar on it, I don't think there's much that can scratch the paint off of it.
Yeah, it's these armors and that mortar are going to revive lots of old fleets, I do believe. I can even see fleets like Rages becoming a thing again, maybe.
Hammerhead Eyes.
Well, yeah. And it'll be interesting to see the number combinations that end up coming out with putting these armors on some of those old conquerors. So I really hope, though, that we start seeing some turrets really soon that can keep up with these numbers for the deflection values that we're starting to see. I mean, I hope at this point we haven't swung the pendulum so far to the attacker's favor with all these armors and deflection numbers that it's going to take forever to swing it back. But speaking of that, GD Riken was talking the other day about all the all the changes upcoming to PvP in 2018 and the things that they're shooting for and the things that they're trying to change. Rue was kind enough to send me over some of his slides that he had that he had shared on their show over there. I just took the 2 summary slides because I don't want to go through all the individual slides because, you know, well, that would have been pretty much the whole show and we wouldn't have talked about any of the actual update, bounty, and whatnot. But basically, in short, long story short, and if you want to see the full story, you can watch their show that had him on it. But they're going to reduce the complexity with simpler stat blocks, making things will be easier to learn but harder to master. They're going with more options and creativity, where the hulls are going to be more driven by armor choices and special choices, you know, as opposed to, you know, here is your hull and here is your weapon and that's what you get and that's it. They're going to be updating range bands and options for, you're going to have better balance opportunities, more choices, and improves counterplay. This is mostly, if I recall, he was talking about base defense. Like your long range turrets are all going to have like a set long range, and your medium range turrets are going to have a set medium range, and same for your short range turrets are going to have. So it's not like, oh, well, this one does 106 at its long range, but this one does 105 at its long range. That's my understanding of what he meant by range bands and optimizing those across the board. I'll be honest, there was some times where he got a little rambling in his explanation, so I would I tuned out every now and then, and I need to go back and watch it myself, probably like at least another time to fully grasp everything that was going on. But that was my takeaway from what I took from that section. I would
agree on that. I'd like to see that brought into a little bit more play where, so it matters more that you can do a little bit more things with missiles or say ballistic or mortar, not just to go with which one has the range of 112 or, right. Yeah. So, and I think that's what they're going for.
Yeah, that was my understanding too. As tactical mods will, of course, add abilities, and you'll have more advanced decision making about, okay, well, I have this hull that it can do that, but then if I put this tactical mod on, it can do this as well, or it can do this thing that it's designed for even better. Or so you'll have a lot of different choices and decisions that you'll be able to make there to more fit your play style and advance your personal game. So they're also looking at retaining investment. No more box set strategies, which is what we were talking about. Here's your hull, here's your weapon, here's your special, go. They're going to allow us to adapt via components. So, you'll be able to take your own hulls, and we're starting to see it already. You'll be able to take your older hulls, add that new armor to it when it comes out, and suddenly your hull that died a horrible death 8 months ago is now revived and brought back into the current game. And by doing that, they'll choose how much time you want to invest into keeping that hull alive and active, as opposed to them saying, okay, well, the new flavor of the month came out, your old shit's dead now, time to move on.
Yeah.
Sequencing, they're going to reduce offensive and defensive release gaps. So my understanding of this is they'll do the Conqueror hull this month, and within like 2 weeks to a month later, the defense will come out. No more. Oh, okay. Well, here's the attack side of the swing, and now you got to wait 3 months for the defense side of the swing. And then they'll release secondary tech to offset natural results. So I guess what they're saying by that is that, like, they'll come out with their stuff and they'll see what happens, what comes into play, what being affected, and then they'll come out with, like, a soft counter to it. It's like, okay, this made things swing a little bit too far this way, so here's a little piece of tech that'll hopefully help balance things back out a little bit. That was my take of what they were meaning there. It'll be like more like quicker fixes. Like, it's like, oh, this went a little too far out. Here's a quick thing, and you can do this, and it'll bring it back into balance.
Right.
But the end goal is to keep PvP competitive and ever evolving without extreme power creep within Tier 7. So that's what they say they want to accomplish in the 2018 year for player versus player coming up. We'll have to wait and see how many of these that they can stick with. I'm optimistic, but I also, you know, I fully have that grain of salt in my hand as I'm being optimistic as well.
I would say along with this is I'm going to need more dock room or more storage space. You know, I've been scrapping hulls for a long time, and some of my old hulls might be of use now with the armor. I'm gonna hope for. I know it's crazy, but I know I'd like some more dock room or hulls, you know, storage room.
I'm just like I said, my biggest concern at this point is with these new deflection numbers that we're starting to see coming out. I'm hoping sooner rather than later that we see some defenses that come out that are not, yeah, some turrets rather that come out that can be like kind of on par with the deflection numbers that we're seeing.
Right. I mean, let's just put it. I mean, these new numbers that we're going to be able to get are going to be hard to stop with the weapons we have now.
Like, I don't know, like going back to the armors myself, like I would have liked to see more maybe than a limit cap. Do a thing of like, okay, well, if you put the D6U on, you can't put the compound plate 5 on. That way, a hull is always having at least something that it's weak to, as opposed to the way it's set up now. It's like, okay, well, I put, you know, 3 of each of these armors on, and I'm like 10 feet tall and farting fire and walking through every base out there because nothing can get past my 200,000 deflection for every damage type that I got going on. You know, so I will have to wait and see how it evolves, but that's my biggest concern at the moment.
Well, yeah. I mean, it won't be with a couple. Okay, don't forget to chuck on a couple mortars.
Well, yeah. You can't forget about the mortars. But
now, I got one quick question. Now, the CICs and the tactical fields, they're not the same, are they? Like, you can't put a CIC in a TAC mod field or a TAC mod's field into a CIC field.
That is my understanding. So you're saying like the new tactical focus, you can't take that and put it on your Buccaneer, or I mean on your Hydra rather, correct?
Yeah.
I actually believe the tactical focus even specifically says Conqueror and Defender. Yeah, it does.
Oh, it does. Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, but I think they count as totally separate slots. So even the even like the Mercy Siege CIC, I'm pretty sure you couldn't put on the Onslaught. But I don't know. Anything else you guys want to go on about? How's Bounty going for everybody so far? Ross, how's it going for you? I know Toxic, you're not in it yet.
I haven't started. I went out and tried a couple of targets, and for me, I have armor on my king, so I wasn't able to do the instant repair. So I looked at my options, and I'm thinking my options are kickback, and I don't have a fleet to grind out the low points for free. So I'm going to let somebody else grind out the low points for free. I haven't entered it yet. I'll probably enter on Sunday when that last, if that's possible still to do, and then I will hit bases on Sunday, and for 50% of what they've ground out.
So for everybody who wants to know where Ross is, so you can avoid the world that he is in, so he will not steal your bounty points, send me a small donation of coins, and I will tell you what sectors to avoid.
No, that's really what I'm going to do. That's that's my option. I mean, realistically, and the time frame or what I want to invest in the thing. But I don't have really high goals. I'm planning on. I'd like to get the mortar armor, and that's really all I really need. So shouldn't be too hard.
Well, that's what Bounty was made for, though, wasn't it? To hit bases. So
yes,
so that's good on you. That's what then it's played in the spirit of the game. So that's the way it should be.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
They can,
I do understand why they have to have the PvE targets in there, though, because if they didn't, there would be no source of the economy that the quote unquote the money that we're spending. There would be no way to get that money into circulation if they didn't have the PvE targets.
and there's some benefits. Some bases are going to be really hard to crack is because they get the added outpost bonuses, and then you can't retreat. If you take 20% damage, so you really need to stay in. You have to kind of attack it differently than you do in the normal gameplay setting, though. So the bounty attacks are a little different.
I mean, the good thing is, though, don't be afraid to go out there and try all kinds of different crazy things when you're hitting a base during bounty. Because if you lose, you don't lose anything except for a little bit of repair time.
Exactly. No, you don't. If you lose, you're not losing your points. So, big deal.
Yeah, I know. Even for the PvE side of it, when I went out and I hit my first target today, and I'm like, oh, I wonder how this King Ritzka is going to do in this 99. And I'm like, screw it. Worst thing that happens is 30-minute repair. 30 minutes is nothing in the game of Battle Pirates, And then I sent it in, and I was like, oh wow, this thing actually did really, really good. So,
right.
Anybody in chat have anything that you want to ask, or are we just going to wrap it for the night? Unless you guys had anything else you wanted to discuss too.
I'm good.
Pretty good. I think the I'm not sure about the participation in bounty in my sector is way down, because a lot of the participants from last time were the gluttony owners, and they really were out there grinding, and so they're not out there anymore. I don't know, how's the participation in your sector?
I'm personally, and I never participate in the same sector twice, so I don't know what it's like this time compared to how it was last time. I can't say.
Okay.
Yeah, last time I checked in mine, we had 8 people involved in bounty. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they definitely did go a little overkill on making sure subs couldn't participate, though. I mean, like at least in the 99 target for sure, they got a Scourge Gate at each end of it, and then they had that Tide Seeker in the middle. I'm like, damn, dude, you just don't want you want to make sure subs can't get through nowhere.
No matter what. I mean, overkill there.
Yeah, it would have been nice to have a little bit more advance notice that the targets were getting tweaked and revamped. I know, like on the Saturday show, we had talked about the Inquisitor and the Survivor builds that for hitting the old targets, and they are just seeming not to hold up this. Although the Survivor I was talking about was for the tank for the 100s, and I don't think the 100s bonus targets have changed, so it should still be relevant for that. But the Inquisitor, not so much. But I will say, when we talked about those builds, we did put the disclaimer at the beginning that as long as they don't change the targets. So they changed the targets, so not my fault.
Right.
But yeah, I think that's good. If you guys are good, I'm good.
I'm good. And thanks for watching for me.
Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully, if nothing else, hopefully what you took out of today's show was get the border. Really look forward to those armors when they're coming out, and take a good look at that King's Writ build that I posted if you're going to want to join Bounty and go out and auto the 99 targets. I will post a picture of it on the page as well. And I know Rue's been chomping at the bit to share it with her alliance, but I told her not till after I covered it on the show. So go, Rue, go. You can now post it. All right. We'll talk to you guys next time. Give us a thumbs up and make sure you share this show with all your pages that we can't get to. Have a good one.
Good night.
Hey, Rue. See ya.